there's no music because I suddenly realised it was 6 o'clock. So I thought it'd be better to start on time. Oh dear. Think of that. I said to Jane, "Oh my God, I'm late." She went, "Oh my God. Yeah, got to answer questions from cats and dogs." Oh dear. Oh yeah, I did have time to get a beer. I've had a wee, so I've done all the. Am I a bit low in my chair? Is that a bit high? What's going on? Put a little stand down. Look at this. Oh, this is dangerous. It's going to end in tears. Oh, it's going to fall over now, isn't it? Is that stable? Oh, I don't trust it. Put it down the back as well. It's all good stuff, isn't it? See, if I'd have been on time, I'd have been prepared. Someone said play a song instead. I might later. I mean, there doesn't need to be a lot of prep for this. It's basically me winging it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rick, you look really handsome and svelte today. Have you had plastic surgery, or are you taking steroids? No, thanks for asking. I've cut my own hair. I just cut my own hair in the mirror with scissors, and I did a little beard trim as well. So I trimmed the beard, right? Trimmed the beard up to about there, and then there was bits sticking out. So I just cut those. It's not so much a haircut as sort of topiary, because obviously when you get it done properly, they do all the things, they layer it, and it all falls. So now I cut my hair, and then tomorrow there'll be bits that are wrong. So I just trim them. So the overall, the overall look is, it looks like a haircut, doesn't it? But yeah, and no, I haven't lost any weight. Like you really did ask, because like now I'm pretending that people have said, Rick, you look great. That was a lie. No, as you know, I put on about £6 since Christmas. Can't shift them. I cannot get the £6 off. Apparently, you've got to stop taking in so many calories, which is out of the question, because I love calories. So you can't lose the weight; you stay the same if you just keep eating the same. You could burn off a lot more calories, but I can't go for a run because I'm full all the time. I have been going, right, as I've been trying a new method, right? Because I don't want to stop eating and drinking, and I don't want to go for a run every day. What I thought, like I've created an optical illusion with the hair that looks like a great haircut, but it's shit, right? I'm doing the same with the body. So what I thought I'd do is, instead of like losing sort of fat off my stomach, I'll just do loads of weights on my shoulders, and then the muscles will push out the fat, and my shoulders will look really massive, and it'll look like I go into the waist. Well, I will go into the waist, and people will go, "Fucking hell, look at him. He's got a small waist." It won't be. It'll still be like 37 or whatever it is, 38. No? But it'll be an optical illusion. They go, "He's got a great haircut and a great bigger." When I told Jane my plan, I'm not going to lose weight. I'm just going to build muscle up, right? She went, "Fuck me, SpongeBob." So, isn't it? So I look like SpongeBob. So, and I'm I'm happy with that. Good. Well, that's the plan. Oh, where are you watching this from? If it works, if suddenly people are going, man, you look great, great, then I will do a sort of self-help podcast, how to cut your own hair and look great while being fat with shit hair. And I think that everyone would love that because people want an advantage, right? The truth is, if you want to be fit and lean, right, you've got to eat less and work out. It's simple as that, right? It's really hard work, right? Particularly if you want to save 400 calories a night for wine. Right? But people love those things like, oh, get thin by eating chocolate. It doesn't work. You buy the book, but it doesn't fucking work. Oh, eat yourself thin. Eat as much as you like. Doesn't work. Be fit without doing any exercise or eating salad. No, you can't. Mm. Anyway, talking of podcasts, I am going to get back into the business of podcasts. I went from being the only high-profile person with a podcast to the only high-profile person without a podcast. So I'm in a good position. I love this. This has made me, like it again, just talking nonsense. People lap it up. 1 billion 3 minutes. Let's get paid, Rick. Good idea, mate. Good idea, son. I'll go in. Hashtag biggest podcast deal ever. That's what I'm. That's what I'm looking for. And the first episode will be how to be brilliant and look not as fat with as shit hair as you've got. Good. Right. Let's do some questions. If you were to film Afterlife and Derek again, but you had to, this is from Joey, but you had to play a different character, interesting. Who would you choose to play in each? And who would you have play Tony and Derek? Oh, that's difficult. Well, I think I could. Originally, before Afterlife, I had an idea for a sitcom, and it was based around me being like a Ken Otley type character, like a guy on the periphery of showbiz who was a bit of a shyster and had terrible clients. So that would be quite nice. That'd be a fun role. And that's much more of a comedy character than I actually played with Tony. But I quite like playing it's fun to play the comedy. It's fun to play David Brent. But there's something rewarding as well about playing Tony and, Andy Millman. In Derek, who would I be in Derek? It has to be Kev, wouldn't it? It'd be great to be Kev. It'd be great. I mean, that is just funny. Everything he said made me laugh. And was writing for Kev and Brian. It's just a joy. Because, he's such an idiot and he doesn't care about anything. That's a great vehicle to have. Someone who they've reached their lowest ebb and they know it. So they don't give a fuck. That's really funny and liberating to write for. And you still have to, and they can, you still have to still shock people with how low they can go. So that's that. Who would I get to play Tony and Derek? Well, I mean, anyone can play it. It would be different because it would be a different person, but they're all great actors. So any of them really. So I think Tom Basden would be a good Tony. Bit younger, but I think he's got that weight of the world on his shoulders. Who could be Derek? Oh, that's difficult. That's difficult because that's sort of releasing you're sort of in a child stroke dog stroke chimp stroke Jesus. So whoever wants to take that role on, good luck. Good question though. Bella, sometimes I like to freak my mum out by suddenly staring at a blank space on the wall, pretending I've seen a ghost. Have you ever experienced any kind of paranormal, activity? My eyes. I mean, I should have seen that coming, really. Have I ever experienced any paranormal activity? Well, I'm going to say no, because I think everything's got an explanation. I do this in my new stand-up. That I think anything that exists is by definition part of nature, not super nature, and is explainable. So, you know, bumps in the night, shadows on the wall, creaks. My first thought is never ghosts and ghouls and things that are very, very unlikely. They're things that are likely. An earthquake is more likely than your dead nan. Do you know what I mean? Because we've never had any evidence of it. It's like, so I'm going to say no, because I don't think that anything paranormal exists. There's things that aren't explained, and there's things that are weird, and there's things that are amazing coincidences, millions to one that thing happened that we don't even notice it. But I always think there's a natural explanation, however unlikely. I think by definition, I'll say no. Thanks for your question, Bella. But if I like the idea of you looking at a wall, maybe you've got like those little floaters you get, like, when you look at a white wall, it's things like move, and they're like cells in your eye, in the aqueous humor, like little. Maybe you're looking at those. I don't know. Gunnar and Andy, you're holding a weekend seminar about one of the three topics. Which do you choose? 1, badminton, martial art. Badminton. I'm not an expert. 2, descriptive interpretation of miming for the blind. So descriptive interpretation of. So I'm telling people who can't see what the mime's doing. Am I? So there's a people unsighted or in a room. I don't know why they've paid, and they've come along for me to describe what a mime's doing. Is that what? I don't think that's a money-making scheme. I don't think that's right. He's pretending. Also, they wouldn't understand what. So I'm going. He's pretending to be locked in a box, and they're going, "What?" I go, "He's pretending to be locked in a box." What do you mean? Well, there's no box. I go, "Well, we didn't say there was." I go, "No, but listen, he's right. He's a bloke, right? He's a skinny bloke dressed in black, right, with a white face, right? Why? Because he's a fucking idiot, right? He's a fucking idiot, right? And now he's pretending to be locked in a box. Why? I don't know why. Ask him. He can't fucking talk, can he? He's not allowed to talk. He'd be a shit mime. That one's not a money-making scheme. So badminton's winning so far. It'll be too frustrating. 3, analysis of Baker Street saxophone solo. Right, now I can, along with most of the population or people my age or slightly less or older, I could sing that. I don't think that's enough for a seminar. I'm tempted to go for just so I can slag off the mime to his face, and he can't speak. he can't talk back, can he? Now he's pretending to pull a rope. Now he's pretending it's a windy day. Right? Why? I don't fucking know. Because he's an idiot. And he couldn't he couldn't get into drama school. So he was a shit dancer. He couldn't. He wanted to go on tour with Britney Spears, but he was shit. So he put on a black polo neck. He pretended to be in a box. Why the box? I don't fucking know why the box. I think that one. I've convinced myself. It's that one. If that was your question, I don't know what it means, but I think that. Julia, I mean, I'm going to dominate the podcast world again, aren't I? With gold like this. Would you subscribe? Would you subscribe? Would you like, if I said, right, this is exclusively on Spotify, would you subscribe to hear this shit? Right. Julia, what is the best antique you've ever bought? Well, now you're in my world. That my desk is good. I've got a lovely chair that I got on auction. We've been to antique places all around. I love antiques. I love particularly furniture. I think my drinks cabinet is my pride and joy. Like I think it's a 17th century walnut thing. I love it. I just look at it. I think, oh, look at the work that went into that. Look at the work. I bought two things in Petworth. It's a little place outside of Brighton, and it was just two medieval carvings, just two lumps of wood, effectively. But because they were 500 years old, I just think that's amazing. Stuff they make now breaks after fucking 3 months, doesn't it? Like, how many times do you have to replace your fucking laptop and your phone and that? And there's some 500 years ago he made some, and I fucking got it, and it's in great condition. So I love things like that. And obviously I like all the stuff that's a bit churchy as well, because obviously, you know. No, I think they're more than that. I think they're nearly 1,000 years old. You know, I think it might be 11th century. Those things. Anyway, so we've got like benches from churches and things like that. And the reason that, like, you see it in art and paintings as well. The reason why you look at all these artists from 500 years ago, and their pictures of like kings and earls and depictions of heaven and hell and all that stuff, was because it's the only way you get paid. Because the only 500 years ago, the only money was in, you know, royalty and the church. So if you wanted to get a good whack, you'd you'd make the king look good, and you'd say to the church, "I've got do you want a picture of Jesus?" They go, "Yeah, all right." I go, "Yeah." So that's why all the great works of art, it's not because they particularly loved the king or God, although they probably did, but it was no one else could pay them. Before industrialists and stuff, who's going to pay you? You go to a farmer and go, "I can do your painting." And he goes, I can't eat myself, mate. I'm having trouble growing spuds. Why do I want a painting? So it wasn't a good barter system, a painting, which is why traditionally as well, a lot of artists and poets were already well off. They came from good families because they could afford to do that and survive. You know, 500 years ago, a working class poet would have died. No one would have he'd have died within a month. So it was a luxury to be an artist a lot of the time. So I think my cabinet, it's not a drinks cabinet, but it is now. It was some sort of 17th century sideboard. Probably some French bloke had it, and now I've got it. So some French aristocrat had it, and now some fat oik from Reading bought it. Oh dear. Right. Nancy, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we afraid of making them? very good question, that. Great point. And we do. I think you're afraid of making mistakes that are undoable, or that obviously you don't make mistakes like, I'm going to go sailing pissed because you go, oh, that was a mistake, I'm dead. But I think if you mean mistakes in art and trying stuff, I think that's exactly right. Like stand-up, every night I go out and I try something, you could say it's a mistake. It didn't get a laugh, so I have to change it. And it doesn't get a laugh. But it's odd to call them a mistake because it led to where you're not. If you're okay now and happy where you are, you wouldn't say you lived a life of mistakes, even though they might have been at the time, because they led to something else. Like if you want to get to the top of a ladder, you have to put your foot on the first rung. You don't go, oh, it's a mistake, I'm meant to be at the top. You go, no, yeah, you're on your way. So I think mistakes are exactly what you need to make at the time. You might not even know the mistakes at the time, and you do learn from them because you improve. So I think that's a great question. I don't know why we're afraid of making them. I think we're embarrassed, or we think that. And again, it depends on what type of mistake. If you've got a lot of money and you go, right, I'm going to make t-shirts. I've got 2 designs. You spend all your money on one design. You make 1 million of one and 1,000 of the other. And the ones that you've done 1,000 of, they sell out immediately. And the ones you've done 1 million of, you didn't sell one. Well, that's a big mistake because you've blown all your money. So I think it depends what you mean by the mistake. So, but yeah, to ease things out there and try stuff, I think that's exactly right. I don't know why particularly for me, like writing and doing stand-up, that's why you've got to try things out that might not work. You've got to take the silences or the groans. You're finding the funny. And it's immediate feedback. They tell you your mistake. It's evolution. Evolution, there's a very good example. All genetic mutations, they're a mistake, but they might be advantageous. You know? You just don't know. We'll see. If you survive, well, it wasn't a mistake, was it? Because you're still here. Good question. Susie. Right, she just wants me to discuss this. Some penguins are prostitutes. That's a hell of a diss, isn't it? Some penguins are prostitutes, right? Offering sex in exchange for pebbles. I think that's true. Well, see, it depends what you mean here, right? Because when animals mate, okay, this is so general, and there are 5 million different species, but bear with me. A female of the species is attracted to a male because she thinks that he's right for her kids. Like, he's big and powerful, my kids will be big and powerful. He's the fastest runner, my kids will be good, that'll help them survive. He's powerful, he's good at providing. If it's a species that stays around, good, he's good. Then there's attraction, which can be arbitrary, but it's signals. So this one got the biggest feathers, and it got that's what we want. You know, it sounds arbitrary. And some birds woo their mate by giving them stuff, collecting things, right? And the biggest pile of rocks, she goes, well, he's got the most rocks. Now that sounds arbitrary, but even if it is, he was the best at that. So he flew the most, he got the most rocks, he's the best dad, in theory. So I suppose as a signal, they'll do anything. Pebbles. I love that. Some penguins are prostitutes, offering sex in exchange for pebbles. I love that. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Maybe there's a war on. Maybe This penguin had to survive. Like the prostitute. That's so harsh. Oh dear. Good. Any evolutionists listening? Have I sort of got it right? Also, you can learn value of stuff. Like they did an experiment with monkeys where they would win tokens to do a trick, and then that would give them bananas. And so they created a community where they would exchange tokens for favors, sexual favors, to the female monkeys, because the female monkey didn't think that this was. They go, okay, you do that, give me the token because I want a banana. So it's like a barter system that there's no thought involved. It's not like monkeys going, well, that'll technically make me a sex worker. It's like, isn't that? Oh dear, I love it. I love it. They call it the oldest profession, don't they? Ollie Comic. Now, be honest. As a world famous comedian, do you ever get surprised or even a little annoyed if someone doesn't know who you are? No. Well, I don't get surprised because there's 7 billion people on the planet. How famous can you be? You've got your demographic, so there's, most people don't know about, haven't heard of you, depending on where you go. And then, so I'm never surprised. Am I annoyed? Well, no, unless they should know who I am. If I was turning up to the Golden Globes and someone said you can't come in, I go, no, I'm the presenter, and I go, don't think so. I go, no, I am. That that would be annoying. I don't think so. I don't think we'd have a. Although you've got good hair and have you been working out? I go, well, I have been working out. Yeah. I go, okay, come in. No, I don't think I do. Not yet. I've never had that moment where I go, do you know who I am? And it's on YouTube. Fucking hell. Dougal. Bonjour, Monsieur Ricky. Dougal's a French bulldog. I recently turned 5, but I haven't received my job description yet. I sleep, snore, allow scruffles, bark, and chase everything. But I am worried I'm not doing something in my job description. Am I missing something? No. That's exactly right. Just do whatever you feel like, and that'll be right. Because you're a dog, and a dog is always right. Don't bite anyone, because that can get awkward. Just growl like that, and you'll be fine. Don't chase things into a road. That's all. But everything else goes. So yeah, try not to wee inside. Wait till you go up, scratch at the door. But again, I think you're doing it. I think you're nailing it. I think you're absolutely nailing it, Dougal. Wendy, have you ever been physically lost in a forest, city, desert, etc.? No. Not to any. No, I've never been like stuck up a mountain without a phone going, I'm going to die, I don't know where to go. I've been lost for 20 minutes, And the first time I got lost in Hampstead Heath, I was running round and round in fucking circles, and it was getting dark. But eventually you find something. So no, I've never been out on my depth thinking I'm gonna fucking die on this mountain or this desert. My dad said you can never be lost if you've got a tongue in your head. I think he meant in Reading, where people would understand. You go, I'm lost. Where's Whitley? And they go, you in Caversham, mate. I go, okay. They go south. Just keep walking south. Right. Jean, or was it Jeannie? Stonehenge. What are your thoughts on how the hell the big rocks got there? Thanks for all you do. Difficult, isn't it? Oh, we've run out of time. I'll ask that question. I don't. I don't know. I've seen one theory how they got obviously because they weigh tons and tons, right? And the question is how they got on there because they think I've seen things where they reconstruct, they rolled on logs and everything like that. But how did they get them up? I have pulley systems. They're like they didn't. It was one theory is that they found the rocks, right? 500 men pushed them onto a little log, got them going or whatever, rolled them along. Then they dug a hole. They dug a big hole and pushed it in like that, and then removed the soil so it looked like it was just standing up. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Someone must know. Google it. Why am I answering these questions about subjects I don't know anything about? I know a bit. I know a little bit. I can guess. I'm a smart bloke, but there's experts going. They didn't roll them on fucking logs. Oh dear. Right. One more. Because it's lovely. This is from Anne of York. My brother and his 4-year-old grandson loved a National Geographic book about evolution of big cats. Sadly, my brother passed away on January the 3rd. When his grandson was told that his grandfather died, he understood immediately. He said, Baba is extinct. That's really sweet. Question. Why are so many people anti-science? I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? It's just weird. It's all the evidence there. Some people suspect it's like some sort of big conspiracy. But the experiments work over and over again. Some people say, yeah, but science has been wrong. Well, it proves itself. Science just said, this is what we know so far. It's the best we know. It's the rightest answer so far. It keeps testing. It goes, no, we've got a righter answer. It's perfect, as opposed to dogma, which says this was, a holy book that was written by goat herders and never questioned. Well, they're gonna be wronger and wronger, whereas science is going to be righter and righter. So some of it's religion that people go, well, no, I believe that God created all, so evolution's wrong. Lots of religious people obviously think that's totally compatible. Lots of religious people believe in God and evolution, which is, but I don't know why people are anti-science. I get why people don't get stuff or aren't convinced by stuff. But yeah, as a body, they're anti. Like they think they're lying to us. Well, the experiment doesn't lie. It's weird. I think some people are bullshitting as well. Some people are trying to get attention. Like I don't believe 50% of flat earthers really think the earth is flat. They've joined a little club. They're trolling. It's attention seeking. But yeah, some people are. I don't know. I don't know, Anne. Right, one last question because it's Leopold and Loveday. Do you think intelligence or wisdom has helped more with the success of your career? That's a great question. I might use that as one of the generic questions when I do a podcast. It's wisdom, I think. It's great to be intelligent. It's very useful, very, very useful. But I think in things like art and business, and being a success in that, wisdom's better. Just the simple fact that I started at 39 instead of 19, so I had a world view. I had a good perspective. They're both great, but I think for running a business and being part of society, wisdom Wisdom is the key. What do I know? Well, we went over. I started a minute late. We went 6 minutes over. That's what you get. Thanks very much for watching. I'm squinting. The lights are in my eyes. Got a great haircut. If you just look at it like that. Thanks very much. See you Sunday. Retweet this. Retweet it. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.